Tweaktown's Computex 2016 coverage is brought to you by NVIDIA.
My friends at NVIDIA called me up and told me they had some really cool stuff for me to see in VR. Apparently, they've been experimenting with hyper-realistic physics engines, so I'm about to go see what they're working on. That is awesomely cool.
Hey guys, it is Anthony here with Tweaktown, and we were at Computex 2016 last week. These videos are not a little, but a lot later than I had anticipated uploading them. For various personal reasons that I've covered in my live stream. I don't really want to go into it here on a more professional video. But we're here to cover the best GTX 1080s that we saw at the show. So NVIDIA launched the NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1080 a couple of weeks back, and they had all of their ARB partners showing off a bunch of cards at the show. So we met with as many as we could with our time that was allowed. So we met with Gigabyte, Zotac, MSI, Colorful, and we had a look at some of the Asus cards as well. There are a few that we missed, but we have written articles on those as well. So we'll start off with MSI, who had a bunch of GeForce GTX 1080s on show at Computex. So we had the GeForce GTX 1080 Gaming X8G, which I have in this system just here benchmarking now with the Division, literally benchmarking right now. It's a great card, totally silent under use. Completely silent, which is really great, especially at 100% load in something like the Division or Far Cry Primal or Battlefield 1 when it comes out. Even with the fans at 60%, you really can't hear the card, which is really impressive. Something that I didn't expect. MSI usually impresses me, but not to that extent, especially on a brand new next generation graphics card. We also saw Gigabyte's Extreme Gaming, which is on the shelf somewhere behind me. That has a new fan design and a very cool looking aesthetic as well. It's another card that I actually really loved the look of. I'm really looking forward to testing that because we haven't had a Gigabyte video card sample for many years now. So that's going to be an interesting card to test. Next up we have Zotac, who had two GeForce GTX 1080s at Computex. First off, we had the Zotac GeForce GTX 1080 Amp, which is slightly lower than the higher end version, which is the Amp Extreme. The Amp Extreme continues Zotac's massive design with a huge heatsink and a massive cooler. It looks huge and it looks heavy, but actually feeling it in person, it wasn't that heavy. I did expect it to be quite hefty, but then when I picked it up, I did expect it to be way heavier than it was, and it actually felt lighter than the GTX 980 Ti Amp Extreme Edition, which I absolutely loved. I'll include that, a link to that review somewhere in the description. And finally, we visited Colorful. You've probably never heard of Colorful, but they are a Chinese ARB partner of NVIDIA. I'm pretty sure they're the biggest in China. And they make some amazing cards, which we should hopefully be getting very soon. We should be the first press outside of China to review the GTX 1080s, or any Colorful product for that matter. But they had the iGame series there with the top of the line Zudan cooler. Kuden, Zuden. I'll correct that in a description somewhere there. But Colorful also unveiled their brand new iGame series at Computex with some truly beautiful designs, with the top end card having like the inside of a clock, very cool grooves that surrounded the actual fans. It really did look great. I actually caught over Luke from Linus Tech Tips, who covered that. We'll probably put a link to his video below because he actually has some really cool shots of that card as well. And even he loved the design, and we were having a back and forth on what we'd love to see from Colorful in the future. And that clock design, to imagine that there's the fan and then just outside of there is a cool, like an internal clock compartment or clock look. It'd be cool if that could turn in the opposite direction of the fan being spun. It's really interesting to see a partner like Colorful coming out with such an amazing design when we have the likes of Asus, MSI, Zotac, Gigabyte, PNY, Palette, Gainwood. There's all these manufacturers that they do all have great cards, but Colorful is someone that hasn't had much fanfare, especially in North America or across Europe or Australia, where I'm currently based. But it was great to see colorful unveiling, some really wicked looking GTX 1080s. I seriously cannot wait to get those in here to test them out versus the Zotac MSI Gigabyte and the various other cards that I'll get. But that kind of wraps up our GTX 1080 coverage, or at least our GTX 1080 partner cards. We have some more NVIDIA coverage, so I really wanted to shout out to NVIDIA for sponsoring us and helping us get to Computex 2016. Without them, this video wouldn't be possible and we wouldn't have been there in the first place. So thank you guys, and we will see you in the next video.
Audio Jungle.